There's always that one character everyone agrees is wise beyond measure, calm under pressure, a shining beacon of Jedi perfection, and somehow that character is Obi-Wan Kenobi. But the more you look at his story, the more things start to fall apart. Like, how do you go from defeating Darth Maul to training Darth Vader? That's not growth, that's a cosmic faceplant. Obi-Wan's life is basically a highlight reel of warning signs. He takes in a moody child with fear issues, raises him like a reluctant babysitter, and then acts shocked when the galaxy catches fire. It's like watching someone ignore the check engine light for years, and then being surprised when the car explodes. And don't even get me started on how he handled Luke, handing him a lightsaber like it was a flashlight and sending him off to fight his dad. The dude went from Jedi Master to desert hermit real quick. And instead of reflecting on his decisions, he just kind of watched Luke from a distance like a galactic stage mom, hoping the kid didn't blow up the planet. You've got Force ghosts popping in and out, vague mentorship vibes, and a guy who somehow made being a spiritual guide look like the least helpful job ever invented. And yet, we all love him. We quote him. We meme him. We pretend he had everything under control, even though most of his advice came with a huge side of half-truths and existential dread. Only a Sith deals in absolutes, he says. Absolutely. Without a hint of irony. This man taught the galaxy's two most important Jedi, and both nearly lost their minds before lunch. It's weird, right? How someone so calm and collected could leave behind such chaos. But maybe that's the point. Maybe Obi-Wan wasn't meant to be a perfect mentor. Maybe he was just a man stuck between a crumbling system and a future he didn't know how to shape. There's something tragic and kind of beautiful about a guy who tried to do the right thing and kept getting it wrong. In this video, we're diving headfirst into the myth of Obi-Wan Kenobi, the failures, the regrets, the choices that shattered worlds and shaped legends. We'll break down how he mishandled Anakin, misled Luke, and still somehow became one of the most beloved characters in Star Wars history. Get ready to see a Jedi Master in a whole new light, flaws and all. Let's just ask the question no one wants to say out loud. What if Obi-Wan Kenobi wasn't the wise mentor we all thought he was? What if, just maybe, he wasn't a great teacher at all? We're talking about a guy who trained not one, but two people who nearly destroyed the galaxy. That's not a coincidence. That's a pattern. From the moment he promised to train Anakin, things started going sideways. The kid needed emotional support and serious guidance, but Obi-Wan treated him like a difficult younger brother instead of a dangerously powerful time bomb. You can't teach someone balance when your own idea of mentorship is sarcastic lectures and awkward silences. And then there's Luke, raised in secret, handed a lightsaber after 5 minutes, and told to go fight Space Baddie with zero preparation. Obi-Wan shows up as a ghost half the time, spouting cryptic one-liners like it's a riddle contest. What kind of training is that? It's like if Dumbledore gave Harry a wand and then just dipped. Even in the Clone Wars, he struggled to mentor his own clone troops. He followed orders and played the Jedi General game, but was constantly torn between compassion and duty. He never fully reconciled the conflict between being a warrior and being a monk, which trickled down into everything he taught. So what if we stop worshipping the image and start analyzing the results? Because Obi-Wan may have meant well, but good intentions don't erase the wake of destruction left behind. Honestly, it's kind of infuriating how many chances Obi-Wan had to do better, and yet somehow he always missed the mark. He wasn't evil, he wasn't lazy, he just couldn't see past his own programming. The Jedi raised him to follow rules, and he followed them straight into failure. Take Anakin again. This kid was clearly not okay. He was impulsive, emotional, torn apart by loss and fear. And Obi-Wan's big strategy was basically telling him to stop feeling things. That's not mentorship. That's emotional duct tape. And then he acted surprised when Anakin fell off the edge. Even when the cracks were obvious, Obi-Wan never really confronted the problem head-on. He avoided hard conversations and leaned into the Jedi code like it was a safety blanket. Meanwhile, Palpatine offered Anakin the empathy he never got from his master. And guess who won that tug of war? And during Luke's training, Obi-Wan flat out lied to him. From a certain point of view is not how you explain patricide to a kid with a lightsaber that wasn't protecting Luke, it was manipulating him. All to steer him down the same rigid Jedi path that broke the last guy. What makes this all so heartbreaking is that Obi-Wan truly believed he was doing the right thing. He wasn't trying to hurt anyone. He wasn't trying to control anyone. He genuinely wanted to help. But the Jedi's way of helping came with chains disguised as wisdom. He loved Anakin like a brother, but couldn't show it in a way that mattered. He was bound by Jedi doctrine, afraid to open up. And that silence created a distance Anakin never got over. Their final duel on Mustafar wasn't just about betrayal. It was about two people who never really understood each other. And after the war, Obi-Wan didn't try to fix anything. He disappeared, went into hiding, and watched from a distance as Luke grew up. Maybe he thought exile was penance. Maybe he was too broken to face what happened. But either way, he left a broken galaxy behind and chose silence. Even his moments of guidance came too late. When he spoke to Luke as a ghost, it wasn't to offer comfort. It was to push him toward confrontation, toward violence. He didn't help Luke find peace. He nudged him toward a destiny that mirrored his own past mistakes. There's a sadness to Obi-Wan that never fully heals, a weight in his voice, a guilt that clings to every word he says, because deep down, he knows what he did, and what he failed to do. But let's be honest, there's still something incredible about Obi-Wan Kenobi. The guy survived Order 66, held his own against Count Dooku, Grievous, and Anakin, and still found time to drop iconic one-liners, like "hello there," without breaking a sweat. He wasn't just a Jedi, he was the Jedi. His skill with a lightsaber was unmatched. He fought with grace, not rage, strategy, not brute force, and managed to take down Anakin at his most powerful without losing himself in anger. That's rare, especially in a galaxy drowning in vengeance. And for all his emotional walls, Obi-Wan did care deeply. He just didn't know how to show it. His dry wit, his calm demeanor, his loyalty to his friends. It was all part of a man trying desperately to hold himself together while the world fell apart around him. Even in exile, he protected Luke from afar, never asking for thanks, never seeking recognition, just quietly standing watch in the shadows. Because despite his failures, he never stopped believing in the next generation, in the hope that someone else might succeed where he couldn't. Obi-Wan was a warrior monk, a reluctant mentor, and a broken idealist all rolled into one, and that complexity is what makes him unforgettable. Here's the thing, maybe Obi-Wan wasn't the perfect teacher, but maybe that's not the point. Maybe his mistakes were necessary, not just to move the story forward, but to show us what growth really looks like. It's not clean, it's not graceful, but it's real. The story of Obi-Wan is less about perfection and more about progress through imperfection. Because Luke didn't become a hero by copying Obi-Wan. He became one by learning from his failures. He saw the flaws in the old ways. He chose compassion over rules, forgiveness over fear. And that decision changed everything. Obi-Wan lit the torch, but Luke carried it differently. And in doing so, he redefined what being a Jedi could truly mean. And in that sense, Obi-Wan's legacy becomes something else entirely. Not a record of wins and losses, but a warning and a foundation. His broken mentorship gave rise to a better one. Not in spite of his flaws, but because of them. Sometimes the path forward only becomes clear when someone stumbles first. Even Ahsoka, though, not directly trained by him, grew in the space Obi-Wan helped preserve. She's what happens when Jedi values evolve beyond dogma. Her journey reflects the potential Obi-Wan never got to see, but maybe always hoped for. Her very existence is proof that the next generation didn't have to make the same mistakes. Obi-Wan Kenobi is a character defined not by triumph, but by tragedy. He lost his master, his brother, his faith, and his place in the galaxy. And still, he kept going. That resilience is powerful, but it came at a cost. He walked through the ruins of his own legacy, hoping something good might still grow from the ashes. His teachings left behind more confusion than clarity, more scars than wisdom. And yet, he kept trying. He tried with Anakin. He tried with Luke. He tried to believe the Jedi way could still work, even when all signs said otherwise. He clung to hope even when it no longer made sense to do so. But the truth is, Obi-Wan was a relic of a crumbling institution. A man shaped by dogma who never truly questioned it until it was too late. His tragedy wasn't just failure. It was the realization that everything he believed in might have been wrong. And when that realization hit, there was no one left to answer for it but him. And still, we remember him. Not because he was flawless, but because he was human. He made the hard choices. He bore the consequences. And in his silence, there was a kind of grace that only comes from living through heartbreak. His pain made him relatable, and his persistence made him unforgettable. Obi-Wan didn't save the galaxy, but maybe, just maybe, he helped others find the strength to do it instead. And that's the story of a man who failed, and yet somehow still mattered. Thank you for watching the whole video. I make videos because of my love for Star Wars and Marvel. I've been asked countless times how I get my subtitles, and I generate them automatically with a tool I built. That same tool can be used here on my website. It's completely free and doesn't require signing up. My website contains the subtitle generator that is perfect for any video, blogging post, where you can sign up with your email and receive notifications for when I post, and also my 3 channels. Critical Analysis Hub focuses on Star Wars and Marvel movies. Critical Analysis Hub Plus looks at Star Wars and Marvel shows. And Critical Analysis Hub XP centers on video games, like The Last of Us series, Jedi Survivor, and GTA 5. Thank you for being a fan.